Today we're going to work on Lesson 4 problem set, and it covers solving word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour by counting backward and forward using the number line and clock. So kind of the same thing that we've been working on with our number line, except we're going to be doing some word problems with it. So you should hopefully have your number line in your photos from Canvas earlier. So if you don't, you can draw a number line, or you can go to Canvas and get your number line out of the assignment. So we're just going to use that to put on our page each time so we don't have to draw a number line and number it every time. Alright, so I'm going to go to my plus button and my photos. So go ahead and click on your number line template and get that on your page. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller here so I can write on it and so that it fits in my problem. Actually, I'm going to leave it bigger and then I can make it smaller after I write on it. Okay, so my problem says that Cole starts reading at 6:23 p.m. He stops at 6:49 p.m. How many minutes does Cole read? So I'm going to use this for each one of those problems. But actually, before I do that, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click that I button over here on the side, and I'm going to copy and then paste my number line. And then I'm going to paste it again, and I think there were 5 problems, and I'm going to paste it 5 times so I don't have to go to my photos and get a new one every time. So I'm just going to leave all those out of the way. Okay. So Cole starts reading at 6:23 p.m. and he stops at 6:49 p.m. So I know that my number line is from 6 o'clock Sorry, they don't make it easy for us on this page, do they? It's so small. Okay, so I'm going to make my number line start here at 6 o'clock. And then end at 7 o'clock because I know my number line goes in hours. And if I lock it down, then I can zoom my page in. So I'm going to start reading at 6:23. So I just need to find 23. It's 5, 10, 15, 20. My 4 lines for my minutes, 21, 22, 23. So there's my 23 where he starts reading. And then he stops at 6:49 p.m. So I can change my color. And I know actually that 49 is right before 50. So I'm just going to mark my 49. How many minutes does Cole read? So I actually need to find out the amount of time that comes in between my 2 dots. So what I'm going to have to do is make small minute jumps, 1, 2, and then 5-minute jumps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a couple more small minute jumps until I get to that dot. And I'm going to redo those jumps for you because they kind of don't look very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So I made 2-minute jumps here, 4 5-minute jumps, and then 4-minute jumps. So that means I have 4 times 5 for my big 5-minute jumps, plus 6, 2 minutes here and 4 minutes here, equals 4 plus 5 is 20, plus 6 equals 26. Cole reads for 26 minutes. Okay, I know that was a little tricky with all of our maneuvering around, so hopefully you were able to keep on with that one, and maybe these next ones will come a little easier for us. So I'm going to make my page small again, grab one of those number lines that I copied already, and squeeze it in on my page here. Tap 3 times, and then make it bigger so we can write on it. Alright, Natalie finishes piano practice at 2:45 p.m. after practicing for 37 minutes. What time did Natalie's practice start? So I know she finishes at 2:45. So I'm going to put a dot on 45. I know that's what time she finishes. And I forgot when I started to label my hours. So if I know that 2 is the hour in my problem, then I know my beginning time is 2 o'clock and my ending time is 3 o'clock. So she finishes at 2:45. She practiced for 37 minutes. So I need to find out what time she started. If I'm trying to figure out a start time, am I going to count backwards or forwards? Well, I'm going to count backwards because I start before I finish. So 37 minutes. If I'm starting here on a 5, then I can make 5-minute jumps to start with. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Should I go to 40 if I'm trying to count back 37 minutes? No, I shouldn't. So I'm going to make minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 little tick marks in between each section. So I stopped at 35. So 36, 37. So my dot's going to go right here. Now I need to find out what time that was. Well, I know my hour is 2 because it's 2 o'clock. And then I have 5, 6, 7, 8. So my time that Natalie started practice was at 2, and then we say 08. We don't say 28, we say 2:08. And we use that O as a placeholder until I get to 10. So 2:08 is what time she started. Number 3, Genevieve works on her scrapbook from 11:27 a.m. to 11:58 a.m. How many minutes does she work on her scrapbook? So this is going to be like our first problem, where we have to figure out how much time is in between. Okay. So I need 11:27 and 11:58. That means that my hours must be 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock because my hour starts with 11. All right, 11:27. So to get to 27, I know that I have to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. So 27 is right here. And that's when she starts scrapbooking. 58 is my next one. So instead of making jumps all the way across, let's think about where 58 would come. 58 comes in between what 2 numbers? Does it come in between 50 and 55 or 55 and 60? Comes in between 55 and 60. So let's draw our lines. And if I have 55, my next number is 56, 57, 58. So I'm going to draw my next dot for finishes on 58. Now I need to figure out how many jumps come in between my 2 dots. And this time I have to start with minute jumps to get me to a 5. So I have to start here. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 1-minute jumps. And then I can make my 5-minute jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then small minute jumps again. 1, 2, 3. So to write my math equation, I have 5 5-minute jumps. So 5 times 5 plus 3 6 minutes equals 5 times 5 is 25 plus 6. 25 plus 6 is 31 because 25 plus 5 is 30, and then that extra 1 makes 31. So 31 minutes is how long Genevieve practices. I hope that you're doing all right with these problems as we're going and that I'm not going too fast for you. I know that it's a lot to write on these small areas. So if there's ever a time that you would like a blue number line to work on your problems, you can do that too. And then just put a picture on your page of your number line. For right now though, I'm going to keep trying to go with my number lines like I'm doing. It really helped making those copies before we started too, so I don't have to make those every time. I just wish that we had a little bit more workspace. Okay, I locked that one on there. Let's read our problem first. Nate finishes his homework at 4:47 p.m. after working on it for 38 minutes. What time did Nate start his homework? So let's first label our hours. If I know it was 4:47, then my number line has to start at 4 o'clock, which means it ends at 5 o'clock. So he worked for 38 minutes, so we need to find out what time he started. Let's plot our ending time. Where would I find 47 minutes on my number line? Well, I know it has to be either in 40 to 45 or 45 to 50. So if you count 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, that's not in there. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So it's going to be in between 45 and 50. 45, 46, 47. So right here is what time Nate finishes his homework. Now I have to make 38 minutes in jumps to figure out what time he started. Let's make our 2, 1, 2 minute jumps to get us to 45. That leaves us with 36 minutes left because I started with 38 and I made 2 jumps. So that's 37, 36, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Now I only need 36 minutes, so I don't want to go past 35. So I'm going to make my lines and take one small jump to get 36. So all together I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 minutes in jumps. So what time right here did Nate start his homework? Well, I know that my hour is 4 because my number line is a 4 o'clock number line. And my minutes are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Nate started his homework at 4:09 p.m. Andrea goes fishing at 9:03 a.m. She fishes for 49 minutes. What time is Andrea done fishing? Okay, so I'm going to put down my number line, and I'm looking for 9:03 a.m. So that means my number line must be a 9 o'clock number line to a 10 o'clock, because each number line is 1 hour. And she goes fishing at 9:03. So where am I going to find 3 minutes? That's going to come right at the beginning. Right in between 0 and 5, right? So 9:03. She fishes for 49 minutes. So I need to make 49 minutes in jumps. 1, 2. That means I need 47 more minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And I only need 47 minutes, so I don't want to go past 45. I'll make my minutes now, and I can make my small jumps. 40. I'm not very good at the small jumps. 46, 47. So there's our small jumps. What time is Andrea done fishing? Well, I know my hour is 9 because it's 9 o'clock number line. 50, 51, 52. So Andrea's done fishing at 9:52 a.m. All right. That was a lot for our first page. So don't forget to save your work as you go, so you don't lose everything you just worked on. Dion walks to school. The clocks below show when he leaves his house and when he arrives at school. How many minutes does it take Dion to walk to school? So he leaves his house at what time? Let's look at this clock. My hour hand, the short one, is in between the 6 and the 7. So I know that it must be 7 for the hour. Now my minute hand, my long one, is also between the 6 and the 7. So I'm going to count by 5s and then by 1s to figure out what time. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37. So 7:37 is what time Dion leaves his house. Let's read the clock to figure out what time he arrives at school. My hour hand is still in between 7 and 8, so I know my hour is 7. My minute hand, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 56. So 7:56. Now we need to figure out how many minutes it took Dion to walk to school. So we don't always have to use a number line to figure out how much time it took. We can actually use a subtraction problem. Since our hour is the same, we can just subtract our minutes. So we can do 56 minus 37. Because in subtraction, I always want to start with my bigger number. 6 minus 7, well, I can't do 6 minus 7 because 6 is smaller than 7. So I need to borrow from the 5 and turn it into a 4. That makes my 6 a 16. 16 minus 7, if I put 7 in my head and count up to 16, I get 9. 4 minus 3 is 1. So it took Dion 19 minutes to walk to school. We're going to use that subtraction or maybe addition strategy to do the next two problems as well. Sydney cleans her room for 45 minutes. She starts at 11:13 a.m. What time does Sydney finish cleaning her room? Well, if she starts at 13 minutes and we're adding 45 more because it takes her that long to clean, then I'm going to do an addition problem. And it doesn't matter what number goes on top for addition, because like multiplication, I can flip-flop my numbers. 3 plus 5 is 8. 1 plus 4 is 5. So I'm not going to say 58 minutes because I have to turn it into a time. What time does Sydney finish cleaning her room? If she started at 11:13, it's now 11:58 because these were my minutes that I added. And maybe it would help if I labeled those. Okay, so I added my minutes together, so I'm just going to add my hour in front. So she finished cleaning her room at 11:58. The third grade chorus performs a musical for the school. The musical lasts 42 minutes. It ends at 1:59 p.m. What time did the musical start? So if I'm trying to figure out a start, that means I'm going before, so I'm going to have to subtract because I want a number that's earlier that comes before the number that I have. So subtraction, I need to start with the bigger number. So 1 hour and 59 minutes minus 42 minutes. If it helps to leave your hour on there, you can, and then you can remember to put it back whenever you get done. So 9 minus 2 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. And then I can just put my colon and my hour. So the musical started at 1:17 p.m. All right, that was a huge lesson for today. So please, please, please save your work as M2L4. You can always come back and look over it again later, and it'll really help you on your word work because the word work assignments are just like our problem set activities. So use that to help you if you ever need it.